The Still Loading podcast is brought to you by the wonderful people on Patreon. Amazing people like Stephen P., Gilmer, Kevin from the Bit by Bit Foundation, Ryan K., Matt aka Stormageddon, and Mr. Biscuits have all been wonderful enough to support the show over there. So if you would also like to get your name read at the beginning of an episode, along with a bunch of other goodies, go over to patreon.com/stillloadingpod and check out everything it has to offer. On this episode of Still Loading...
Hey, shut up, you face!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Still Loading podcast. I'm your host, Josh Koval, and today's episode, we are back with a Mario Super Show, not really review, but, a breakdown, as we are wont to do. Of course, I am joined to discuss everything Mario and Supers and shows, my co-host with the Mo-host, Dexter Morrill. Dex, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. We celebrate Mario month in March, but, you and I, we celebrate Mario every day, pretty much.
All year round, baby. You know how we do. 24/7. No, yeah. Well, I mean, we've been going back and forth for a little bit, but the last 2 months, the last two episodes of this, we did two Zeldas, due to just kind of like how it worked out with our guest, Chris Carpenter, which... Oh man, there was some behind the scenes stuff. Nothing with him personally. Just there was a bunch of that episode we had to cut out, and it sucks. And I can't even say why. it sucks.
Just trust us.
Just trust us. It was gonna be even better than it already was, and some stuff had to get cut out, unfortunately. Anyway, we are here to talk about Mario episode. This month's dive into the video game cartoon, and next month's are both Mario Super Show episodes. Since we did Zelda's back to back, we're going to do Mario's back to back. And this month, we are looking at episode 6, technically if you count it episode 7, because the running list on Wikipedia counts the Zelda episodes, but I'm not counting that. This is episode 6 of the Mario cartoon, technically. The episode titles, the live action segment is called Bonkers from Yonkers, and the animated segment is called The Great Gladiator Gig. It was directed by Dan Reba, written by Jack Olesker, originally released on September 12th, 1989. And this one, I just off the top, Dex, I wasn't quite as enamored with, but I still enjoyed it, if that makes sense. Like, compared to some of the other zanies, especially with the last Mario one with the fastest mouth in the South. Though there is some great moments in this, but what were your kind of overall thoughts? Like, not overall, I guess, but overarching opinions as you went through this? Like, what was your vibe? That's the word I'm looking for. What was your overall vibe of it?
There we go. Yeah, I would say that we're probably on a similar wavelength on this one because, this one's pretty straightforward. I feel like there was a lot of potential with some of the theming and some of the jokes, and they didn't really take any turns with them. It was very much a straight shot hallway of a script.
Though I will say there was lots of moments that I was clocking last night when I was rewatching the episode for this, where there was definitely like somewhat. Did I even write it down? Oh, yeah, there was lots of like blowjob jokes that I think were like coded blowjob jokes.
I think I missed those, but you know what? I might.
Well, clearly you're not looking for
head,
Dexter. So let's dive into it. Right, we're on a bit of a time crunch, a little behind the scenes. So let's dive right into this one. The episode begins with the live action segment, of course, with this title being "Bonkers from Yonkers," and it begins with Mario and Luigi trying to fix some sort of a pipe, and it slips out of Luigi's hands and bonks Mario on the head. And then Mario suddenly starts chirping like a chicken.
That
Um,
wasn't clear though at first.
no,
He just was going "Ah, ah, ah,"
yeah.
and I both thought it was funny and I was a little disturbed.
Hmm.
I'll be honest. I was like, what is he making bird sounds or it like? I was legitimately concerned for Mario.
I was confused with what was going on. Some things that I noticed right off the one, I love Lou Albano's performance in this.
Oh yeah.
Like he is just like the shots of him just sitting on the couch, like wide eyed, going "Brah, brah, 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 brah," is one of the funniest things I've seen on the show.
I
Um,
wish he was my uncle. He's one of those celebrities that I wish Lou Albano was my uncle.
Uncle Albano, Uncle Lou. Um, so that what the thing is though, the reason I said there's lots of like head jokes is when this happens to Mario. Sorry, and actually one other thing I noticed. Did you notice when like or whatever the fuck Mario is like stumbling and Luigi's helping him over to the couch, his hat keeps flopping around. I'm pretty sure they taped his hat to Albano's hair.
I'm guessing they bobby pinned it
Yeah.
somehow.
That makes more sense than taping. A lot less painful too. But I just noticed that I'm like, wow, that's like it was almost like a like a attach, like you can see where it's attached in the back of his head and it's staying there, and Danny Wells is desperately trying to keep the hat on Mario's head the whole
I
time.
wouldn't be surprised if it had kept happening. So they're like, okay, somebody pin this down. So it's
Hmm.
just falling off.
So he he sits Mario down and he goes to the phone book and he looks up head. He goes, you can see him reciting off. He's going like, I forget it. Oh wait, hold on. I'll bring up the closed captioning, but I believe what he does is that he goes, yeah, Harry, happy, hurry. So this is even hurry is out of alphabetical order, whatever. But he goes head, there it is, and then he calls the number listed under head, and you get
I'm guessing a head doctor,
it's
but
a head
like,
doctor. That's the joke.
yeah,
Um, he's looking up a head doctor, and it's Doctor Sigmund Fruitcake. Uh,
Sigmund fruitcake.
though when he shows up at the door, he says, "I'm Doctor Sigmund Fruity Cake,"
He did say that.
and
I was
then
surprised they didn't do Sigmund Freud cake and like go with that. But
yeah, but Fruitcake is like he's kind of a quack. That's more of a joke, I think.
yeah, that makes sense.
Though he comes in and exclaims he likes making head calls. That's what I'm saying, Dexter. there's coded blowjob jokes in this episode.
I see it now. I see it now.
And he shows up and he starts making fun of Luigi. He's like, "Oh yeah, your head looks normal, but it's ugly." Like I'm paraphrasing, but that's pretty
You have
much.
a big, hairy, ugly head.
That's a
Other than
really
that,
good
it is
impression.
normal. Thank you.
The actor who plays Dr. Sigmund Fruitcake is Larry Gelman. He was known for he was the poker playing friend of Oscar and Felix in the original TV series of The Odd Couple. He also was known for playing Dr. Bernie Tupperman on the Bob Newhart Show.
I also
He
noticed for our gaming friends that he was Albert Einstein in Command and Conquer,
Holy shit, he was.
which
That's
explains the
wild.
German accent.
I mean, it's not a great German accent. Well, hold on. In film, Gelman appeared credited as Larry Spellman in the X-rated 1976 film Alice in Wonderland with Christine DeBelle.
Oh my.
The adult comedy Chatterbox in 1977. What the fuck is Chatterbox about?
Now,
It's a
I mean, like, this is proof for your whole, your head
uh,
pun.
you're never gonna believe this.
Oh no.
It's an American comedy film, 1977 American comedy film about a woman with a talking vagina.
I do believe it somehow. I believe it now.
Oh my god, that is really funny. That is this dude. if you think about that, he was doing like, these kind of like raunchy, like sex type of films only about 10 years before doing this show.
I was going to make a joke about falling down a rabbit hole with this show, but I feel like falling down any holes, making that pun right now is probably not
Well, I
a
mean,
good idea.
it is Alice in Wonderland, so you can fall through the looking glass.
Okay, there we go. Yes. We're falling through the looking glass every time we watch this show.
What's even the Alice in Wonderland, the 1976 movie, is an American erotic musical comedy film. And that's a genre I did
Those
not know
are
existed.
words in one sentence put together.
What's even more nuts is it made money. The budget was $350,000 to $500,000, and it made $90 million. What? This was at the movie theaters in the 70s. Were wild, dude. What the
The
hell?
Super Show said, we got to get that guy.
He's our Dr. Sigmund Fruity Cake. Oh my lord, that is wild. So yeah, the basically the first half of the live action segment ends where he basically says it's no problem. There are many people. No, sorry. Luigi tells Fruitcake that Mario thinks he's a chicken and he's or a bird. He's like, that's no problem. Many people, probably 2 or 3, fantasize about flying like a bird, and that's why it's okay. The thing that like really made me laugh was he goes, Sigmund Fruitcake goes, that's no problem because many people, and then he pauses, probably like 2 or 3. I'm like, that's not many people. That's 2 or 3 people. That's a handful. That's literally a handful. Anyway, that made me chuckle. I thought that was funny. So that ends the live action segment, though. When you see the little interstitial of switching over, Luigi goes, now back to my southern fried brother, and I don't understand why.
Because he's a chicken, like Southern Fried Chicken.
Oh, that actually okay. That makes sense. Now we come to the the animated segment, and I have our stats for this one, Dex. Our plumber's log number, our Bowser Mario insults, King Koopa insults, the Mario's food cravings, and Luigi's excuses. The plumber's log number is 603. We hear Koopa, and I might have missed one, but so if you remember any others, feel free to add them in here. But I'm pretty sure I only caught 3. We have faucet freaks, clog heads, and wrench heads.
Yes, I liked the wrench one.
Mario's food craving is just spaghetti. There's a lot of spaghetti in this one. A lot of spaghetti. And then there wasn't really an excuse from Luigi, but there's 2 that kind of felt in the same spirit as it, and the one that I wrote down was, it's someplace, but I don't know what place.
The one that I picked up on was when Mario shouts to Luigi, now Luigi, get him! And Luigi's like, get him? As if like, when have I ever done anything like that?
There's a lot of moments like that in this episode of just like people saying something and be like, what? But anyway, so the cartoon section opens with Plumber's Log 603, Mario and the bros and Princess Toadstool and Toad are going to, hold on, I wrote it down. They are on their way through the Linguini Empire, and the Emperor invites Mario and his brothers, Mario and Luigi, Toadstool and Toad, to attend a benefit spaghetti dinner that benefits orphan mushrooms.
It was so sad.
There's orphan mushrooms, Dexter. They don't have any parents.
The toads are already helpless and pathetic, and then now you also introduce that there's orphans among them.
There's toads that don't even want other toads. They just leave them. Yeah. Oh my god.
And also something that I had to rewind when I was watching this is when Mario's like, Luigi, can't you get this tub to go any faster? And I was like, that's a funny joke, but that's usually what they refer to, like old boats, but they're in a chariot. And then I was like, wait, their chariot is a bathtub. Why did I now realize that? with like a
Yep.
shower spout and everything.
Mario's literally holding on to the shower spout on the back as like a anchor point, so that way he doesn't fall off.
Yeah.
And like the harness or whatever is like tied up with pipes. Like it's not like a leather harness or whatever, that like
Right.
well, I guess the harness is what the horse wears, but the straps that go along the side of the horse, I forget what the actual technical term for that is.
The yoke, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. They it is literally like just steel pipes or whatever. It's wild.
Peach is like, I can't wait to meet the Emperor. He sounds like such a, nice guy.
Wonderful man.
And
He's a
Mario's
wonderful
like, I
man.
can't wait to meet all that spaghetti.
That's all Mario talks about. The entire goddamn episode is the fucking spaghetti at this stupid thing. I'm like, you do realize it's not going to be what it is. Like, I wasn't sure if it was going to be Bowser being at this point, I like, obviously Bowser is going to show up, but I wasn't sure, is Bowser the Emperor or is Bowser just, is he going to interrupt disrupt what's happening type of thing, So
Right.
what we find out though is that he is the Emperor, and he is spying on them approaching the Colosseum in the Linguini Empire, up on a cliff top behind a boulder with Triclyde, or since this is in Roman times, it's Triclydius.
Yeah, right. Did you think that they were going to push the rock onto them?
I did, yeah, I thought they were going to.
It was very like Roadrunner, Wile E. Coyote setup.
But what I love is that Bowser's like spying
we'll
in
get to
Triclyde.
the twist, I guess.
Well, I love that Bowser's spying on them, and Triclydius goes, what did I write down? He goes, smash him, stomp him, crush him. And that's all he says for like most of that scene. And he's like, why do I have to tell you the same thing 3 times? I'm like, that's actually a pretty solid joke.
Yeah.
Because they have 3 heads. But yeah, so they arrive at the Colosseum, and Mario is hungry, and all of a sudden there's an earthquake coming. And I think Luigi has a pretty good line where he goes, what is it? Earthquake, run for your... Oh, hold on. I have it up here.
And while you're looking that up, they are playing the Mario theme on like trumpets as well, which was pretty nice in the background.
He yells, earthquake, run for your lives, but the delivery of it is, earthquake, run for your lives. There's like a weird pause in between foreign lives.
No, just that first take? Okay.
That's all you got, Danny? All right, that's fine. But the person causing the earthquake is actually the guardian of the Colosseum. Brudius Maximus Grouchimus is his full name. And no, I'm not making that up. That is what they called him in this. Did you catch Koopa's full name?
Yes. Augustus Septemberus Octoberus Koopa.
I'm like, did you really just list the fucking months? They did.
I mean, that is where we get August from, but still.
I know, but it's still really funny that they just, I'm like, yeah. I almost feel like they should have just kept going, like Novemberus, Decemberus, Januarus.
But when they meet Brudius, he tells them like, oh, we can't do the benefit for the orphans because we have a plumbing related problem. So of course, Mario and Luigi are like, we're just the guys to help. But the thing is, he's like, okay, come this way. And the guards that come out to help them are Koopas. They're Koopa Troopas. And I was like, wait, why are we following this right now?
I thought literally the exact same thing. I was like, how the hell?
Yeah, I was
so confused.
Why they were okay with this. And I was like, wait, okay, shouldn't they at least be wearing like masks or helmets to cover? Like, even if you could see the shells, like at least have helmets on or something.
I think it just irked me because it very much was like, well, obviously this is like this is obviously just like a bad, like these are obviously working for Koopa. Like if you see Koopas, if you see the turtles, then the Koopa's going to be nearby. How did that not send off like red flags to you?
It's like if in Star Wars they're like, here, follow these stormtroopers. Okay.
Exactly.
No.
Like, what do you mean? It was so silly. So yeah, they first separate Mario and Luigi from Toadstool and Toad because Brudius is going to bring Toadstool and Toad on a Colosseum tour, and that's when he brings them to Koopa. Sorry, Augustus Septemberus Octoberus Koopa. And this is where I noticed one of the weird things about this episode was that there was a lot of awkward pauses. Like Toad tries to run away at first, and they linger on the shot of him running away for like an extra second. And my guess is it's just to fill time, but it
Yeah.
still feels really weird to do it.
I did notice filler moments like that. Like, what is this, a 21-minute episode? It felt like they had, 18 minutes worth of content. They were stretching it out to those 21 minutes.
That's really what it felt like. So yeah, it was, I thought that was just kind of odd. And so Toad and Toadstool get captured, and then all of a sudden Brudius is bringing Mario and Luigi to some other spot in the castle. I'm like, man, this dude can just teleport at like the drop of a hat.
He knows where all the catacombs and pathways go.
He knows where to bury a body. That's what Brudius knows.
That's right.
He brings him to a weird dungeon where Mario and Luigi get captured. Like it's under the guise that or he's trying to capture them there. Excuse me. And it's under the guise that this is where the pipes are that they need to fix, because that's why they can't have the benefit once again. Mario and Luigi, of course, are able to get out of this pretty easily by finding there's conveniently a chariot with a horse on it, and the horse is too busy being distracted by eating grass.
Is it their horse that they got there with?
I don't think so, because it's not on the
tub. Yeah.
I would assume not, because it's not attached to the tub. It's attached to something else.
I see. I didn't pick up on that. I just assumed it was their horse, but now that you say that, it's not attached to the same chariot.
It might be. Maybe it's switched over. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. The sad thing is, with the level of writing in this, I would not be surprised either way. You could make the argument, it's supposed to be his horse, but they just forgot that they were riding a tub at first. Or it's like, no, it's not supposed to be their horse. But like it looks exactly like the horse. So I don't know.
They clearly had to use the same character design. And this is where when Brudius laughs at them like, aha, I've got you. And Mario just goes, hey, shut up in your face.
I love that. I think that might be the clip for the intro on this. Hey, shut up in your face. It's so good.
I loved it.
Oh, it makes me laugh. They do ride away on that horse, though. Mario strings a bag of oats on like a pipe that he dangles in front of the horse's mouth in order to to basically get the horse to be like, oh my gosh, food, and start chasing after it. But obviously they'll never catch it because of the food in front of it. The food's riding with it, and right. But Brudius throws 2 Koopa shells at them, and Mario has to deflect them with the bag of oats, which then causes the horse to be like, fuck that, I'm not doing this anymore. Like you can go on your own. Like, you don't have oats anymore. I don't need this shit.
And with how good this show is about using sound effects from Mario, we had no Koopa shell sound effects used at all during this moment. And not only that, the shells weren't rolling along the ground, they were bouncing towards them. And I was like, wait, what?
Like bouncy balls.
I could see if he bounced the Koopas, but he rolls them like bowling balls, but then they bounce towards Mario.
I mean, you know how it is, Dex. If you when you go bowling, you're so passionate about it that you hurl the balls and they just start bouncing on the lanes.
What was I thinking?
So passionate about those balls. So then Mario and Luigi run through a door. And I love Mario's one line where he's like, just what the doctor ordered, a secret exit. I'm like, it's not that secret if you can see the fucking door. But okay. And they end up in the Coliseum, and they right in front of Koopa, and who's holding Toadstool and Toad, and Toadstool 6 Triclide on them, or sorry, Triclidius as they call them in this episode. And it's a pretty fun like little action scene. There's a couple moments, the Triclide throws a pitchfork at Luigi, it pins him to the wall. Mario tries to distract him, and so that way Luigi can like get up, but Luigi of course is not doing anything. I think, is this the line you were talking about?
Yeah. He distracts Triclidius, right? And then he's like, now Luigi, get him. And Luigi's pinned to the wall. Get him?
Mm,
Like, what do you expect me to do?
do your fucking job, but
And right
whatever.
before they send Triclydius out, Koopa sends him out. There's a shot with him and Peach, and Peach is reacting and saying like, "Look out, Mario!" Classic. And there's a freeze frame other than like a blinking animation for Koopa. I've got it at 11:38, but I'm not sure if we're on the same YouTube. I'm on the Wild Brain Superheroes channel, but
I'm on the Mario Bros. Net.net channel, but yeah.
the freeze frame of Koopa looks super cool. Like the way that it's drawn is actually detailed because it's a freeze frame. They could put a little bit more detail. And I was like, he
Mm-hmm.
actually looks pretty intimidating in that freeze frame.
And
But
which freeze frame was this again? Sorry.
it's the shot right before he like orders them to let Triclydius out to fight, and um, and
Okay.
and I was about to call her Peach. Princess Toadstool is like, "You're so evil and despicable," or whatever, and
But
all that
thank you,
stuff.
princess.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he has a line too where he's like, "The great thing about being evil, you get to lie all the time," or something like that. He has a
We
line
wouldn't
like
know
that as
anything like
well.
that. Anything like that in our current political situation.
Right, it's close to
not,
home, right?
not to be too topical. Anyway, so they so Mario then gets kicked off of Triclyde and like doesn't get knocked out but gets dazed, and that gives Triclyde enough time to capture Luigi with a net, and then Triclyde picks up a sword in its mouth and goes to try to kill Mario. Mario then, of course, uh, whatever the episode wants. Sometimes someone comes up with a sword, like, oh gosh, we can't escape. Now someone comes up with a sword, it's like, I'll just jump on your neck. It'll be fucking fine. You can't
Yeah,
get me at all. And he
and
takes the
doesn't
sword.
cut off his head. Like
Yes, he
that was
does
a
not.
perfect opportunity.
He takes the sword, he rescues Luigi, and they come up with a plan for how to defeat Triclydius, excuse me. What their plan is just run around in random circles to confuse the three heads.
Yes, also known as dancing.
Yes, they start off as dancing. They do like almost like ballroom, and then all of a sudden they just start running around in circles.
Is this also where is it Mario that says, "Wait a macaroni minute"?
Does he say that? Like
I've got
right
it in my
before the
notes.
dance, or
Yeah, before I think that's when he's come up with the dancing plan. Wait a macaroni minute.
I have it playing right now. Let me see.
He also refers to Triclydius as a three-faced double crosser, which I thought was a great name as well.
Three-faced double cross. That's great. Yeah, he says, "Wait a macaroni minute." That's fantastic. That is wonderful. I think it's like 13 minutes and like 20 some odd seconds, at least on the MarioBros.net YouTube channel.
Yeah.
That is so funny. So they defeat Triclydius, and Koopa, understandably so, is mad. And this is also where that line says the good thing about being evil is you get to lie a lot, and he sicks 2 lions on them. I love these lions, Dex.
I know. I was surprised. I was like, "Oh, they're literally just lions."
Well, and one of them, Dexter, is named Harry. In fact, he calls the one calls the other Harry because the way they get out of it. Actually, you know what? I'll let you explain, Dexter. How does Mario stop the lions?
At one point, I've got in my notes that the lion refers to Mario as "you chubby little chunk of lunch meat,"
Yeah,
which I thought was fantastic.
just rude, but okay.
Yes, also rude. But don't they? He convinces them that Koopa has more like. If you were really kings, you'd be having an emperor for dinner instead of 2 measly plumbers. I think is how like he convinces them like the 3 Billy Goats Gruff style. Like, oh, if you think I'm going to be delicious, why don't you wait for my big brother? And that's what he
Mm-hmm.
convinces them that Koopa would be a more delicious meal, and then uses the pitchfork to pole vault himself up to where Koopa has Toadstool and proceeds to kick him in the face, which which causes the whole Colosseum to collapse, which is pretty incredible. Oh, and he shouts, "Caesaronimo!"
Wait, who shouts Caesaronimo?
when he pole vaults at Koopa.
Wow.
Caesaronimo!
I did not even recognize that. Wow. Caesar, that's fantastic. Um, And the closed caption, since it's done by automation, it captioned it as Caesar Animal. Caesar Animal. But yeah, so Koopa then runs away from the lions. The lions chase after him, and that's pretty much how the animated segment ends, with the exception of one other scene where after Koopa gets away, they decide to have the spaghetti benefit dinner for orphan mushrooms anyway. And
Yeah,
Brutus
and
is like,
Brutus is
man,
like, yeah, I'm cool with that. Yeah, like,
everyone who
like,
tried to take out Mario and Luigi is like, hey, we actually like you guys. We just were doing it because Koopa told us to.
yeah, outrageous.
So that ends the animated segment, and we cut back to now, Dex, our live action segment, putting the cap on what's happening in the Bonkers from Yonkers. And apparently Mario still is not cured. Though it is weird. They insinuate in this scene that he was cured and now he's not, because Luigi is calling Dr. Sigmund Fruitcake again, and he's clearly has woken him up in the middle of the night to like ask him for some help, because now Mario thinks he's a monkey. And Luigi wants him to not be a monkey. He wants him to go back to being a chicken because he can help with the egg problem. You know what? Unfortunately, too topical once again. Maybe we should all get our own Mario to help with the egg problem. Who knows? But it's just a short scene of him talking to Sigmund Fruitcake on the phone. You get your Zelda preview. And then after the Zelda preview, it is Sigmund Fruitcake comes back, and Mario's just hanging on a random pipe, actually, I'm looking at this, I'm baffled how this thing is being how did they had to install it specifically for this, because it's not attached to anything except for, I'm assuming, the ceiling and whatever the one bar going to, it's hard to explain. They're basically, think of like an L-shaped pipe. It's not an L-shaped pipe, but it's basically behaving in the same way. And it's very clear the bottom portion of the L-shaped pipe is attached to something off camera to keep Mario up there, and the top is, oh wait, no, it's like a swing. It's like a pipe swing. You can see it from a different angle. That is so weird. That is like, I don't know. That's just so bizarre to me. Anyway, so that's got to be crazy strong to hold a full grown ass adult to. It does not look sturdy at all. It's shaking
Yes.
like
And
violently.
Lou Albano is a champ, but in the take of him originally, when they reveal that he's pretending to be a monkey, like he legitimately eats an entire banana in like 2 seconds. I was like,
Yeah.
hopefully they didn't have to keep doing that take over and over, because he's got to be full of bananas, that poor guy.
Full o bananas, the Lou Albano story. And so it cuts back, and you see like he's got literally banana peels like on his head, and then the way Sigmund Fruitcake is able to get him to turn back to normal, he goes, repeat after me, I am not a monkey, I am not a chicken. And then Mario's like, oh, I'm back to normal, and that's literally it.
Yeah,
That's how
like
they
they had
solve.
to have improv this. Like, what are we going to do? Like, I don't know. Just tell him he's not a monkey.
And the leading up to it, he keeps trying to tell these jokes, and Luigi's not laughing at any of them. Like Sigmund Fruitcake, excuse me, is trying to tell so many jokes, and Luigi's like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. He just
Yeah.
changed my brother back. Oh my gosh. And then it ends with Luigi actually turning into a chicken.
Yeah, even though it fixed Mario, it turned Luigi into thinking he was a chicken, even though he didn't get any head trauma. I don't know. I don't understand the logic.
And the doc's like, just take $10 off my bill.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't want to fix this anymore. I'm done. Just take $10 off my bill. I'm like, that's a little funny. Oh, the poor Mario brothers. But that's how the episode wraps up. They of course do the Mario on the way out, and that's the end of the episode. I do think it's funny now. Do you remember, Dex, like when this show aired, did they have a commercial on in between the last live action segment ending and then the do the Mario segment? Like, did they have another commercial break?
Yes.
I always found it so weird when shows do that. Like, we'll be right back, and then the only thing they're coming back for is someone saying, do the Mario, and then the credits roll.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yep. I think that's how they normally did it, instead of doing commercials at the end of a show, because that's when people would leave. they would leave, this little segment of show and the credits and then start up the next show. And that was the way to make sure people didn't change the channel. Because
Oh.
it's a normal jumping off point when oh, my show is over, I'm going to change the channel during the commercials. They would try to pin the credits of one show with the beginning of the next to ensure that people stuck around, or to make it more enticing for people to stick around. Okay,
Okay.
well, Captain N's on. Maybe I'll just keep watching.
Oh man, Captain N. We know a thing or two about that show.
Yes.
Just a little bit, but that's how the episode ends. That's how this one wraps up. And man, we burned through that pretty quickly. And the crazy thing is, I know we were under a time crunch. I really don't feel like we skimped on it. That's the crazy thing. There wasn't a whole lot that happened in this episode.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's like a microcosm of the whole episode, where, like I said, it's pretty straightforward. There's not really any twists and turns. There are some good one-liners here and there, and some good, some funny faces and silly animated things that happened, but there wasn't anything particularly memorable about this episode.
No, other than I do really like the bathtub chariot, and I really enjoyed the the Augustus Septemberus Octoberus Koopa. That made me chuckle.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, I guess our final thoughts then is I guess we kind of did it. It's just an average episode. It's not bad per se. I didn't necessarily dislike watching it, but it was not as good as some of the other ones. I am curious because the next one up. Oh man, I closed out the list. Son of a nutcracker. Let me
Next
look
one
at.
is Love 'Em and Leave 'Em. Oh no, Mario and the Beanstalk.
Okay. That maybe I'm thinking of something else then. I'm still waiting for, there was one that I was really looking forward to, and now I'm blanking on what it was. I thought it was going to be the next one, but I don't think it's that one. Though the episode 9, which we won't get to for a couple months, is Will the Real Elvis Please Shut Up? That's the live action segment. Is called Will the Real Elvis Please Shut Up?
I'm looking forward to when they have Milli Vanilli.
Oh my God! Do they have Milli Vanilli on one?
I've seen the clip where Mario is at, animated Mario. They're at a Milli Vanilli concert.
Wow. This is actually kind of funny. Episode 12 of the show, or I guess that'll be 11, 8 or something or 10 or something for us, based off how this is going. I'd have to see. Anyway, it's the animated segment is called Stars in Their Eyes, but the live action segment is called Alligator Dundee. That's pretty solid. I
wonder what that's about.
Oh, that's really funny. But anyway, that will do it for this episode of Still Loading, for this mini episode. For once, Dexter, it actually is, in terms of length, excuse me, it's an appropriate length for an episode.
A legitimate mini.
It's a legitimate mini. We did not go over an hour for this, which we have a tendency to do at times. But that will do it for this episode. So, Dexter, where can the good people find you online, and what would you like to promote?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky and Facebook and Instagram. I'm usually there every so often, sharing artwork and things like that, and maybe some video game history type, doodles and bobs. But right now, I am probably putting finishing touches on doing some promotional work for a local indie music fest. So I was commissioned to do that. To design their mascot and have promo artwork for this indie music festival. And I think that's it. Other than that, if you subscribe to Old School Gamer magazine, I'm still doing the cover art for that. I've been doing that, surprisingly. I've done the last 24 issues, which I couldn't believe it'd been that long. But yeah, definitely check them out as well. I think that's about it. You can find me on those platforms. Follow me, ask me questions, bug me about Mario. Yeah, I'll see you there.
All right. And as usual for myself, you can follow me on Blue Sky, Instagram. Then that's pretty much it these days. Like, I don't really Twitter. I fuck that place. Threads, I'm never on. I don't really find it that fun. But I'm at Still Loading Pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. Those were the two places you can find me pretty much now. Though I do stream on Twitch. I've been streaming Twitch quite a bit now, actually.
Nice.
I've been playing a lot of games on there at Still Loading Pod over on Twitch. I stream usually at least twice a week, though lately it's been a lot more because I've been able to find more time. So if you want to see me play games that I'll be covering for upcoming episodes on the show, you can follow me over there and watch me play some games and get angry at stuff. It's a good time. That's where you can find me on social media. If you like the podcast and you would like to support it, there's a number of ways you can do that. The easiest way is just to give it a 5-star rating or review on whichever podcasting app you use. That helps more people find the show, and it just takes a moment of your time, and it would really mean a lot to me because it helps me. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy. I like feeling warm and fuzzy. You can also support the show monetarily. I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/stillloadingpod. There's a lot of perks and benefits over there. For $1 a month, you get all the episodes earlier with better audio quality and patron voting rights, which help guide the direction of the show. At the time this comes out, I already just finished a poll about a month ago by the time this comes out. But I do quarterly polls every 3 months. There's a new poll that goes up and you can help vote and pick a game. And then I do a big poll at the beginning of each year to help me choose a bunch of games for my backlog month, which, all games from my backlog. But so that's all for $1. For $3 a month, you get everything at the previous tier, plus patron shoutouts, which you heard at the beginning of this episode. For $4 a month, you get all that stuff, plus 2 mini bonus episodes. And for $5 a month, you get everything. All the stuff I mentioned before. And for only $5, you get all that stuff plus access to my monthly movie podcast, which at the time this episode is coming out, it is called Still Family, my monthly Fast and Furious movie podcast, where all the guests who join me aren't just friends, they're family. But we will be, once that series is over, I'll move on to another movie franchise. I've already covered all the James Bond movies, so there is a lot of content for you over there at Patreon. Once again, that is patreon.com/stillloadingpod. But that's it. That's all the time I have for you on this episode of Still Loading. Thank you all so much for listening. Dexter, thank you once again for joining me.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
And with all that said, listeners, do the Mario.